Shout out to my people. Shout out to my people sending love, positivity, and good vibes to my people, man. I hope you guys are doing good today. I'm doing great. Today, we got a video of Wade Houston. He gives us some productive hacks in order to be successful. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Let's get it.
I'm going to teach y'all how to become so productive that it feels illegal. And this is coming from somebody who's a drug addict. I used to do pain pills, smoke crack, eat Adderall, Xanax, smoke weed. I used to do every single thing that I could to try and increase my productivity.
I'm not even trying to be funny, but smoking crack to be productive is wild. That's the first time I heard that one.
They diagnosed me with brain on fire when I was a kid, which is like ADHD times 10. It includes some other stuff, but more or less I have zero ability to stay focused whatsoever. So I've improved my ability to focus and eventually make a ton of money and lead companies without using drugs. I'm gonna give you guys the exact formula that I use to become so productive that I was able to accelerate from the lowest point of my life to president of 10X Health in 2 years. Now, for any of you that don't want to watch the rest of this video, or you want to drastically improve your focus, your energy, your clarity, become more productive, you can click the link directly in this video to work with me. So let's get right into it. Your productivity is predicated upon what you do the night before, right? You got to prepare for your day. So the first thing that you should do is at around 8:30, 9 o'clock, put your phone on silent, no more distractions, and do a daily review of the day. Say, hey, where could I have improved? Where could I have gotten better? And then look at the day ahead. You know, get out your phone, look out your calendar, and you should all be utilizing a calendar. I would highly recommend just getting a Gmail and having a calendar in which every single thing is in here, right? My morning routine, my bedtime, my daily review, all my meetings, my focus work, every single thing I need is in this calendar. So the night before, I'm gonna have a daily review, and then I'm gonna prepare my day the night before. So I'm gonna put my supplements on the counter. I'm gonna put my hydration packet on the counter with the water bottle. First thing I do in the morning, right? I'm gonna prepare my clothes for the gym. I'm gonna put my book on the counter. Everything's gonna be prepared the night before. Why? Because I only get so many decisions throughout the day. I wanna reduce my decision fatigue. So if I just go station to station to station, I'm not making any decisions. What do? Hit my knees and pray. Take a piss, and then I go right to the counter, have my supplements, my hydration packet, and then I move on to the meditation reading station. Listen, if you want to retain focus and energy and mental clarity all throughout the day, you must understand when you wake up, you are dehydrated. And water alone will not rehydrate you. Believe me, I know. I used to drink 12 bottles of water a day, and the doctor said, hey, you're chronically dehydrated. I said, how is that possible? I drink 12 bottles of water per day. She said, you're not getting any sodium or magnesium or potassium. You need to start off your day with an electrolyte pack. Don't do liquid IV. Don't do any of these crap brands. Don't put sugar in your body first thing in the morning, okay? You want to get some protein and some electrolytes early on in the day. You can have some sugar later if you desire. But you need to hydrate properly so that the layer around your brain is elastic, allowing you the ability to think and have focus and reduce any potential headaches. First thing you have to do, okay? Now, I don't care whether you're spiritual or not, pray. Then we're going to read a page in a book. And listen, we're not reading in the morning to comprehend anything. If you start reading in the morning for comprehension, your brain's going to be in a million different directions. It's like if you get on your phone and you start to get on social media, you're going to lose focus. We're reading a daily reading book, something that has literally one page that we can read each day. So we just read that page to prime or position our mind into a manner that's going to be useful for the day. We want to put ourselves into a positive frame of mind, right? Now the next thing is we need to meditate in silence for 10 minutes. Meditation is not quieting your mind. You're never going to be able to quiet your mind for more than 20, 30 seconds at a time. Meditation is a practice of observing your thoughts and allowing your thoughts to pass. Utilizing techniques like noting and labeling your thoughts and then letting them go into the background instead of the foreground of your mind. What you'll realize after consistent daily meditation is that you don't control your first thought, but you actually control what you decide to do with that thought. And when you start to understand that not every thought needs your focus or your attention, not every thought is real, Not every thought is true. Most of your thoughts have judgment and opinion and bias, right? They're not clear. But understanding that even if you're highly educated or intellectual, that your mind will still lie to you. But when you're capable of processing your thoughts in an adequate manner through consistent daily meditation, you'll become more focused, you'll become more clear, you'll become less distracted.
He just gave out a lot of gems. Have a nightly ritual, calendar. I have my calendar slash planner. Get you guys a planner. Hydrate. Definitely need to stay up on hydration, your diet, praying. Being successful is deliberate. Nobody has become successful on accident. So you have to be strategic about your success. And when he started talking about your thoughts, that's so true. You know, I hit a patch where I really controlled my thoughts, what I was thinking in my environment, and I saw in that period of my life, that's when I seen the most growth. But then, you fall back into habits and you just, kind of just get on autopilot and you allow yourself just to think any type of thoughts. And then you realize the thoughts that you're thinking, you're not controlling them. So it's very important to control and manifest the thoughts that you want, the positive thoughts, instead of, the negative.
You'll be able to manage people better, right? So this is imperative. Wake up early with a day that's prepared the night before. Pray, hydrate, meditate, read that page in a book, okay? These things are imperative. Now, push out your coffee or your caffeine consumption. You don't need it for that first 35, 45 hour in the morning. I have my first coffee about an hour after I wake up. I'm going through my morning routine and I'm getting prepared for the day. Once I have my first cup of coffee, it's on. I know that after I've done my morning routine and I have my first cup of coffee, I am going to be in the most enlightened, focused state of mind. So for me, I do work right there. I actually spend an hour during that time creating, ideating, not on social media, not getting distracted, but just me doing research, thinking, writing, okay? This puts me in a position to utilize my most creative thoughts. Then the next thing I do is go to the gym. Why? I can never possibly be in an optimal state of mind, an optimal mood throughout the day, optimal energy without doing some form of exercise. It is physiologically impossible. And if I want to handle all the bullshit that's coming at me, my employees, my clients, anybody I work with, all throughout the day, I want to make sure that my mind is in a position to handle them. I want to have equanimity, right? Which is an ability to regulate my emotions. I want to have energy. I want to have poise. So getting those endorphins pumping, getting oxygen into my body puts me in a frame of mind that's going to allow me to have maximum focus and clarity all day long. Now, the next thing is what I eat is so important. And I'm not eating for enjoyment during the day. Do I love hamburgers and brownie sundaes? And yes, of course I do. Do I still eat those things sometimes? Yes, of course I do. But I don't ever eat that way until dinner. Why? Because during the day, I don't want to ever compromise my mind. I would never have a sandwich during the day or something that's going to slow me down. Or for me, I'm not even going to have red meat during the day. I'm going to eat super clean, super lean all throughout the day, small meal portions, so that my mind has maximum focus, maximum energy, maximum clarity. In the morning, I eat very simple. I have 2 eggs, 2 egg whites over a bed of white rice. For me, that works perfect. For you, it could be something else, but I would highly recommend that you're having organic whole foods, right? During the day, I'm having chicken, ground turkey, rice or sweet potatoes, and veggies. Small meal size, simple. Now, I'm going to get into the exact specifics of what I do so that at about 10 a.m. you can understand why I'm so maximally productive all throughout the day. From 10 to 6, I don't feel any lull or any lag like a lot of people feel during the day. Why? I've followed my morning routine to a T. Then I've worked out. When I return home from a workout, I have a shower. I eat that meal that I just told you. I drink my coffee. and then I have some more water and I get right to it during the day. Now, if at any point I feel slightly like I need extra energy or focus or clarity, I will stand up and I will take a walk or do some air squats or a couple push-ups.
Yeah, Wade completely killed this one. He gave you guys a bunch of gems. You know, if you really lock in on your ritual and your planner and your routine of what you need to get done, and you stick to it and you keep a positive mind frame, y'all, there's nothing really you can't do. Like, the things that you want to accomplish really are simple. You just have to, do them and stay consistent. I liked how he was like, in order to get realigned, I'll go on a walk or do some push-ups. And I think that is really, I'm going to take that for when I do 75 hard. This year, starting the year off, I'm going to, cut off all my vices. So to implement that anytime I get an urge or anytime, I'm following myself getting out of line, it's like, nah, just do some push-ups, go out on a walk, get realigned, and get back to work.
I will do, or stretch. I will do something so that I can retain the focus, the energy, and the clarity, and then go right back to it. And I'm also prioritizing my day in a way that's most effective and useful for me, right? Everybody has different times in which they can optimally focus. And for any of you watching this, they're like, oh yeah, I'm a night person. Bro, you can change that. Like, I understand your chronotype zone, but 80% of the people in the world are most effective from like 8:30 to 11. That is your most effective window of time to be the most creative, focused, clear. And so that's when I do a lot of my focus work, right? But you can change your ability to focus at different times. I used to be a late night guy, and I changed. How did I change my sleep pattern? I forced myself to get up early in the morning, multiple days in a row. And it was a battle. In order to fix my sleep schedule, it was 5 days in a row of still going to bed at 3 a.m. and waking up at 6. 3 hours of sleep, and I was absolutely exhausted that week. What happened inevitably? On Friday, I fell asleep around 6 p.m. because I was so tired. And guess what? I slept 12 hours, but I woke up at 6 a.m. And all of a sudden, I started to be on a new routine. I was going to bed at 10, waking up at 6. And my life started to change. What I also noticed is if you wake up early, there's this period of time. If you're waking up at 5 or 6 a.m., there's a period of time before 8 in which you have all to yourself. You can get 2 or 3 hours all to yourself, zero distractions, zero inbox, zero anything. And that priming of the day will help you get so far ahead of everyone else, especially if you also do it on weekends. The easiest way to get ahead, the easiest way to become more productive is to follow the same schedule 7 days a week. Friday nights, I go to bed the earliest. Saturday morning, I'm still up early. And by 7 a.m., I'm on the road to go meet with some of my business partners and mentors every Saturday morning. Do you know what that does for my career?
So it really just hit me. What he's really breaking down is, what are you going to do in order to set yourself apart from everybody else? Me speaking about cutting off my vices for 75 hard. So many people have a vice that if you don't have a vice, that's how you set yourself apart from everybody else. Not being average, waking up early. We just got an extra hour. So most people have the thought, oh, it's going to get cold. I'm going to sleep in. I get an extra hour. But imagine if you rewired your thoughts and was like, oh, snap. Now I have an extra hour to do more work. Him speaking on prepping, the night before. Most people are waking up to start their day and, they're waking up into their day. But if you can have a ritual or a routine to cut out all the downtimes, all the times that you're distracted, or all the times that you got to make a decision, that is going to give you an extra hour throughout your day. And then another point that he said was no weekends. Y'all, I'm about to, like I said, no vices, wake up early, stick to my routine, and no weekends. Y'all, if we going to do this year and watch how much our productivity level goes up.
Saturday mornings, a lot of times, people aren't even getting up until 10 a.m. And there I am, already having a meeting and coffee at 7 a.m. Now, what a lot of people don't talk about in terms of this productivity is who you're spending your time around. I can't engage during the day, or really at any time, with anybody who wants to have small talk, gossip, or isn't moving or growing their business and their life forward. I can't be around those kind of people. And so I'll very quickly just move out of the conversation. Anybody that is progressing or moving the business forward, that's who I'm talking to and spending my time around. Now, the only way you can foster that network of people is to become someone that those type of people want to be around. How do you do that? You need to day by day utilize this routine that I'm talking about. And that doesn't involve going to the club or drinking or smoking weed or hanging out with losers or going to the bar or the arcade or watching Netflix. All the vices have to be removed. Your success is subtractive, and if you want to have optimal focus and energy and clarity, you're going to have to remove all those vices. Those have no place in your life. So we remove the vices, we follow that very simple routine, we make these promises to ourselves, write them on a whiteboard until you get the exact time and order in place, and then you put it in your Google Calendar, right? Now, if during the day you find yourself saying, what do I do next? What activity should I focus on? How do I know where to allot my time? You write down on a piece of paper what it is that you need to do. You look at those items and you say, hey, which of these are the highest revenue generating activities? Then you reorganize the list in order of highest revenue generating activities, and then you calendar the items into your calendar so that they have blocks. Then you throw away your to-do list and you just focus on your calendar. Now, I would highly recommend when you have blocks of focus work, whether that's emails or research or creating or documenting, that you put your phone on silent, 0 notifications, that you set a timer, and that when the timer goes off, and you have the timer on the desk, and you can see the timer going down, so that as you're focusing, every time you want to go grab your phone, you're like, nope, I'm in a time block, I'm in a time zone. For me, when I have focused work, I need to listen to music. And look, it used to be rap, but I don't listen to rap during the day anymore because a lot of it has a demonic message. Even though I liked hustle culture and I liked the money and the motivation and what they would talk about, over time I grew out of listening to rap during the day. And today I listen to more frequency, to more EDM, to things that are going to boost my mood and productivity, right? So these are some very easy ways in which you can become more productive during the day and where you can get ahead of everyone else. The last thing is this. I want you to be extremely selfish with your time. So you're going to have to learn to say no. If you want to be productive, you got to say no often to people. And you have to come back to what is the task at hand. Now, what is the generalization about all of this in which people lose their focus and they stop becoming productive? Why? Like, what is the reason? Well, it's because it becomes mundane and they're not able to see why they are focusing, why they are limiting their distractions, why they are removing their vices. And when you don't hold in your mind the reason why you are doing something, it often puts you in a position to say, yeah, but I don't need to do this anymore, or I'm doing okay. But when you have an image, a vision of who you want to become and what you want to achieve, and that image is something that you've spoken aloud. I want to become someone that runs these type of companies, makes X amount of money, has this type of impact, wears these clothes, drive this car, and you hold that image in your mind, and each and every day you remind yourself, hey, I'm not where I want to be yet. That doesn't mean you have to be dissatisfied with where you are today. In fact, you should be so grateful that you are where you are today. And you don't need to compare yourself to others, but you certainly should compare yourself to your former self. And when you have this period in which you say, I don't know if I need to do this anymore, you must have a reminder of who it is you want to become. The background of your phone, the background of your computer. It should be plastered all over the place that there is a person that you want to become, that above all else, you need to carry out these routines on a daily basis. So when you have that why, when you understand what your impact is, you'll consistently carry out these things that make you more productive, more useful. Now, some people say, wait, I don't like coffee, but I like energy drinks like this. You need to find your source of caffeine and food that works for you. And I will say this is a science. Before I go on a podcast, I have a very specific way in which I increase my mental capacity. I do about 100 push-ups, a bunch of sit-ups. I then take a shower. I eat something small, like a little bit of chicken and rice, like a half portion. Then I have an electrolyte packet, and I have one of these NZT focus pills. But I don't take all of it. I take about a quarter of it, okay? Just a very little bit. It's a little bit of caffeine and ashwagandha and ginkgo biloba. That puts me in a position where I am so locked in. Now, I don't want that every day, but I need to understand what activities require what type of focus, which require what type of stimulants and food and exercise. So you're gonna have to understand what works best for you. And once you figure it out, notate it. And if you're struggling throughout the day with your energy and your focus and your clarity, you must start observing where you are limited on energy.
That's why it's so important to do the things that are going to take your most energy, things that you need to prioritize the most. You need to put those on the front of your list. At the end of the day, you may just have to do laundry or clean up or get back into your nightly routine in order to, have a productive morning the next day. So stay on that routine. We're going to stop here. This was a great video. Shouts out to Wade Houston on productivity hacks. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm definitely going to take, some of his tips, like reading 1 page a day. I feel like, you don't have to read 10 pages out of a book. If you just read 1 page a day, just to, and that mindset of stepping into the day, being productive, crossing something off sometimes you just need to cross that initial thing off the list in order to keep crossing things off the list in order to be productive. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. We got more personal development, productivity. This page is going to be focused on productivity and advice, especially directed more towards men. It's not a lot of safe places that men have. Make sure you guys lock in with me. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. We out.